Minute class. We're going to get to a little bit of core work on the mat. We're going to start off in standing with a nice yoga warm-up. This is for all levels. Definitely a little bit more advanced stuff when we get into some of the core work on the floor. Modify as needed. I am a physical therapist as well as a strength coach and yogi. So I'm always coming at this from an injury prevention perspective, but we want to build strength, resilience, definition, core, abs, a little bit of glutes. Optional weights or mini bands for some of these moves, but you don't need anything. Yeah, that's it. Subscribe to the channel for notifications of class. I host live classes weekly, 30 minutes, right? I suggest everyone get in a little bit of core and mobility at least a few times a week. This is 30 minutes. Let's start off with a nice yoga warm-up. Reach to the sky. Take a couple of nice long breaths here. Just get some extension in your spine. Lengthen. A healthy spine is a supple, mobile spine as well as strong. Hold it here, one more breath. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the arms all the way down. Just relax. Shake the head up, shake the arms. Knees are nice and soft. Give your lower back a little bit of support again. This class is for you, so modify as needed. We're just gonna go through a nice little yoga warm-up, easy. Easy warm-up, and then take it down onto the mat. Last breath here. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. I usually have the replays up in my core class playlist. Check it out if you want other workouts. Bring your hands down, step back into plank. We do have a couple of planks in class today. Again, modify as needed for your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Push away from the mat. Make this active, right? So we're not sinking, we're pushing away. Tuck the chin in, brace with your abs. One breath here. Nice and slow, our first round. Knees down, slowly lower chaturanga. This is our sun salutation A sequence. Again, we're gonna go through this about 3 times. Inhaling up, just to warm up. I love using this yoga as a nice little mobility flow to warm up the entire body. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. Hold it here, one breath. And then exhale back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. That is the flow. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Nice and easy. Right, if you got tight calves like me, I know I say this every class, but bears repeating. I'm not the most flexible person myself, right? But that's why I do this stuff, to work on our mobility and our strength. Pedal those feet out. Give your calf and ankles a nice little stretch. Last breath here. Walk your hands back to your feet, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. Let's go through that flow again. We're going to speed it up. Second round. Inhale, reach through the nose. Exhale it out through the mouth. Knees are soft. Hold it here, 1 breath. Halfway lift. This is your hip hinge. Deadlift. Hinge at the hips. Straighten those legs out for a nice little hamstring stretch. Hands come down, step back into plank. Strong shoulders. You guys, if you're runners and cyclists, we got to work that upper body as well. So I will add some weights to our core work today. Get a little bit of shoulders in. Exhale, lower either knees down or all the way down. Chaturanga. Chaturanga and push-ups also nice for the shoulders. Up dog or cobra. Again, this shouldn't feel pinchy on the lower back. So really engage your lats. Squeeze your shoulder blades down your back to open up your chest. And by engaging those lats and those shoulders, that's gonna help to stabilize and support that lower back. If this doesn't feel great, you can also just keep it nice and low into your cobra. But this should feel good, like a nice extension of the spine. Exhale back down. Nothing in this class should ever hurt or not feel good. Or in anybody's class for that matter, right? Everyone's built differently, so modify based on your body. Pedal the feet out. Let's go through our last flow and then we're moving on. We've got some planks, we've got some push-ups, we've got some chair pose. I got a lot for you guys. Again, weights are always optional. Walk your hands back. Let's go through our last flow, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. We should be getting a little bit warmed up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Flat back. Hands come down, plank. I'm going to do a couple of planks coming up next. And again, you can modify as needed. Hold it here, 1 breath. Exhale, lower chaturanga, however you need to do it. Elbows are close to my sides. Up dog or cobra. Pull the shoulder blades down again, bracing with my abs a little bit to support my lower back. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. We're gonna move on. Let your heels just drop for a second. So enjoy this calf stretch. And again, if you're like me, you got tight calves. My heels are not touching the ground. I don't know that they're ever gonna touch the ground. I would have to do this a lot more, but it's a great stretch. So from here, we're gonna come and walk our hands back to our feet, come into standing. We're gonna do inchworms out into plank. So inchworm is basically, I'm just gonna walk out, take a nice wide stance, give yourself some space. I often add this into my warm-up because it just feels really good because you get to sink deep into the hips and you walk it out. And I'm trying to maintain a nice flat back when I come back here. So really give yourself a nice wide stance because that will allow you to get deep. If you've got really, really tight hips, that may not happen, right? So then you can just kind of finish closer to here and then come back up. Ideally, I'm starting with my hands right in between my toes, walking out. I said some push-ups I might add. So now's your chance. That is optional. I always tell everybody, at least try one. Try one push-up. Even if you need to do it with your knees bent, that's okay. Or against the wall, that's okay. The only way you get better at push-ups is by doing more push-ups. Who would have thought? Let's do, and this again, just kind of using this to get our hips warmed up, get a little bit of upper body in. Getting our heart rate up a little bit before we come down onto the mat. We have 3 core exercises in our main set today. Let's do one more of these. Got 3 main core exercises. Most of my classes, I like to rotate through a nice little dynamic series of 3 ab exercises or glutes, and then stretch, and then we're done for 30 minutes. All right. Beautiful. Chair pose. So now, again, if you have weights or you want to put the mini bands around your thighs, that is up to you. You do not need weights. If you're just doing your basic chair pose, nice wide stance, draw the arches of the feet up. That's going to pull the knees out, and then I'm going to sit back into my chair pose in this nice flat back neutral spine. So if you're just doing chair, you're going to come down and up. Now, if you have weights and you're like, hey, I want to turn this into more of a squat, have at it, right? Might as well, right? So if you have just one, I like to do this goblet squat style, holding the weights at my chest. This is a pretty light weight, but some weight is better than no weight. If you have the 2 weights at your sides, kind of letting those weights fall down the shins, right? Up to you, you decide. Either way, working on some depth in our squat, get into those hips, engage your glutes. Let's do a few more. All the way up. And again, this is just part of our warm-up. One more. Good, shake the legs out, take a break. We're gonna do one more of those dynamic chair pose. Again, that's just your squat, back squat. My entire foot is planted into my squat. I'm drawing up my arch, active foot, and then I'm pulling the knees out to engage my glutes. So let's do our last set, then we're gonna take it down onto the mat. We've got a lot still to cover. Whatever you're doing, whichever version, engage your back, sitting back into the squat or chair pose. Eyes are looking forward. When I say flat back, I'm really talking about more of a neutral spine, but most people just kind of understand that flat back cue. In other words, I'm not arching, I'm not here, right? And I'm not here. Find the middle. So it kind of looks like that flat back position. If that works for you, that's your goal, right? And then again, I'm engaging, squeezing my shoulder blades together, opening up the chest, whichever version you're doing here. Going for some depth if I'm just doing my body weight only. 3 more here. 2 more. Last one. All right, done. Let's move these off to the side. Let's come down onto the mat for a little bit of cat-cow. One of my faves. I often do a little bit of a cat-cow to finish up the warm-up. Just a nice way to kind of involve that entire spine. Some nice easy mobility, right? Use your breath. Inhale. Exhale. articulate through your spine, meaning I'm getting my whole spine moving. Are there any sticky or tight spots in your lower back, your mid back, tailbone, neck? Really use this opportunity to stretch. So we'll finish with our cat-cow, right? And then we have a little series of some glute work. If you have mini bands, you can add them into the fire hydrants. If you don't, that's okay. It's still a burner. We're gonna start with some obliques. Then we're gonna start with second in line is our hollow body hold, which is challenging, and then we have glutes. So this is a pretty challenging series today. Modify as needed. All right. So let's get into it. We've got obliques first, ankle grabs. You don't need the weights for this one, but if you want to add in some of the mini bands for that last glute sequence, you can. So ankle grabs, I'm coming up here, and then I'm just reaching to that outside ankle. Now again, these are deceptive. They look easy, they start to burn side to side. Obliques, engage. So we have a little bit of oblique work, then we have some hollow body hold, so it's gonna be a static hold, and then we've got glutes. Right, so kind of trying to get a little bit of this well-rounded core. Core is everything. It's not just abs. Tuck the chin in to stabilize your neck. If this doesn't feel great, you can also have your hands here, or you could just turn this into bicycle crunches, right? A little bit different variation on some obliques, just to give your neck a rest. Again, strengthen. Engage that neck, tuck the chin in. That should help you so that your neck is not feeling as strained. Breathe. This first round is long. We have a long set. Get it done. Get that hardest work done first, right? So let's keep going. So we've got obliques. We've got a dynamic, a static hold with our hollow body hold. We'll show options. And then we've got glutes to finish. Right, we're gonna do that 3 rounds of those 3 exercises. So let's do a few more here. Should kind of be feeling those obliques lighting up a little bit here. In 4, in 3, in 2, in 1, relax, shake the head out, let the knees go side to side. Hollow body hold, 30-second hold. This is challenging. I'll show you options. Level 1 is gonna look like your Pilates hundreds position. This is easy it's gonna get. Level 2, level 3. You pick your poison. Now, again, for whatever version you're doing, I need you to press your lower back down on the exhale and keep it there. There is 0 space here. So this is challenging if you're doing it right. Let's start off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30-second hold, hollow body hold. Again, my lower back is glued to the mat. There is no space here at all. The lower your arms and legs go, the harder it's gonna be. This is 30 seconds. It should feel challenging. Challenge yourself, but don't lose the form. Almost done, you guys. 10 seconds. And they're gonna get into those glutes with your mini bands if you have them in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip it over, fire hydrants. Again, you don't need the mini bands. If you have them, you can use them. This is hands and knees, glute activation. Trust me, if you don't have mini bands, you're still gonna feel this. I'm trying to keep my hips as the primary mover here. So my back is staying nice and flat. My abs are braced. And I'm just opening at the hip. In other words, I'm not doing this. That ain't it, right? So it's a small movement. Again, if you've got tight hips, you're not gonna open that hip very far to engage that glute, right? You may only get to here. So we'll do this side, burn it out, other side, then we're gonna come back in to those ankle grabs, that first move again. So continue here, let's do a few more, and then we'll do the other side. Burn it out. 2, 1, other side, same thing. 3 rounds of these. Should feel it in the booty a little bit. Again, if you have the mini bands, you can use them around your thighs. That's just gonna make it that much harder. And if this does not feel challenging, I suggest add the mini bands, right? I have a link to all of the mini bands in the caption. I get them on Amazon, super cheap. Grab a pair, really versatile, good to use for a lot of your prehab, a lot of your core work, a lot of your activation work. Good to own some mini bands. 3 more here. 2, 1. Come back onto your back, ankle grabs, round 2. Let's do it. We're not taking breaks. Tuck the chin and lift up on the exhale. Reach. So again, because we're not doing a big, like heavy load, heavy weights class, this is a lot more endurance based, right? And that doesn't mean there's not value in doing some heavy weights with our core, but this class is much more about that endurance, building some stability as well as some strength so that we can run for hours and have a nice, stable, efficient core, or bike or swim or whatever, or just live life and have this nice stability, right? So again, there's a time and place, mixing it up with your core work, not just doing the same thing over and over and over, right? Not just always doing planks or not just always doing crunches or whatever. Change it up. Couple more here, then we've got that hollow body hold again. 30 seconds of that hollow body hold coming up. Last few here, and rest. Set yourself up for that hollow body hold. Again, on the exhale, I'm gonna bring that rib cage down and flatten my back. In 3, 2, 1, lift up, hold. Press the lower back down. Tuck the chin in. Again, this is your beginner, intermediate, advanced. I would say all of these are relatively intermediate and advanced. Even the beginner is not that beginner. 10 seconds. Then we get those fire hydrants again. In 3, in 2, 1. Turn it over. Glutes. I'm going to try to get a little bit of low back strengthening after we're done with this series. Get a little bit of everything today, right? We get the glutes, lower back, deep abdominals, obliques, some static stuff, some dynamic movements, a little bit of some shoulder strengthening, did our push-ups. You can do a lot in 30 minutes, right? It does not require hours and hours and hours. Be efficient and smart with your time. That is always my goal as a coach, but also as an athlete or as a PT. Make it simple, make it quick, make it efficient, get the job done, right? Last few here, other side. Again, this exercise is pretty isolating to that glute medius as well, so this should feel like it's burning, even if you don't have the mini bands. The mini bands, again, Amazon, easy buy. I highly suggest you get a pair. So many things that we can do with the mini bands, and I do them in this class. I have tons of videos in other playlists you can check out with the mini bands. Last few. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's finish up our last round. Let's do it. Ankle grabs. On the exhale, I'm coming up, pressing the rib cage down. I'm maintaining that position. Again, remember, this same position you're in now is the same position you need to be with that hollow body hold. It's that connection, right? So the head is elevated, pressing the rib cage down, connect. When I say connect, I mean I'm not like this. I'm like this, right? So there's that connection from the bottom of my rib cage to the top of my pelvis. That's the stability, right? So using my diaphragm as the top, my pelvic floor as the bottom, and then I have all my abdominals here, my lower back, creating that nice cylinder effect, that nice tight vacuum of stability. I'm still breathing, but have that nice bracing, and then the ability to breathe underneath that, which is, it's actually a skill. Can you keep your abs tight and breathe at the same time? It's not as easy as it sounds like. 3 more. 2, 1, come down, hollow body hold, get ready. In 3, 2, 1, come up and hold. In my opinion, these are the hardest I usually only have people do these for about 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time to hold this one, right? A lot harder than a plank, right? Plank, gravity, just hanging out there, right? Here you have to hold yourself up. A lot more challenging. Almost done, you guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, turn it over. Last round, fire hydrants, make it count. Let's do it. Let's get this booty burning. And then we're gonna come down onto the mat for a little bit of lower back strength and stretch. And that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get notifications of all my live classes. I try to do live classes every week. I'm trying to add more. We'll see. I personally love this class myself for my own sports, my own body. It feels really great. So I like this class. I like teaching it and doing it. Last few here. 2, 1. Again, the nice thing about core work, I will say as an athlete, is it can be done almost any day of the week with any training volume or intensity, and it's not really going to fatigue you out. So it's kind of a win-win. I could do this on a Friday and then still go ride or run hard on Saturday or Sunday. So it is a nice addition to your program, I suggest. That's my coaching voice telling you. Add it in, right? Injury prevention, resilience for endurance for life. Last 2. All right, child's pose. Stretch that booty out for a second, and then we're gonna come down onto your stomach for a little bit of superhumans, Superman, Superwomans. So you're gonna be face down. Gotta squeeze in a couple low back. Right, and again, I'm just bringing the opposite arm and leg off the mat, and I'm focusing on lengthening, extending as I reach and then lower. Opposite arm and leg reaches. This is more about that activation, right? So we're not using heavy weights. This is not a huge back strengthener, but we're just engaging that whole posterior chain. Everything on the backside of our body, really just getting our brain and our body wrapped around a little bit of that engagement for posture, for stability. Most of us are just sitting for a big part of our day. We're flexed forward, so this is giving us some extension. Think about lengthening. So it's not so much about arching the back, it's really about creating length through the spine as I lift. Tuck the chin in. Last few here. Engage. We're going to finish with some stretches on our back. Open up the hips, back, all that good stuff. Any stretches that feel good, you can do your own. Last few here. One more. All right, take your time. Come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze them in. This should just feel nice. Rocking the knees side to side. Nice and mellow. Massage that lower back. This should just feel good. I give a lot of these stretches to some of my patients with lower back issues or just tightness or hip issues. So even if you don't have any problems, this is still nice. Nice to get things flexible, mobile, stretched out. Let that left leg extend long. Hug the right knee into your chest. Roll the ankles and the toes around. I will usually finish with the same kind of a cool down mobility sequence. So just kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? Maybe roll the hips around. Just kind of get into that hip socket a little bit. Slow down the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Take your time on the exhale. Really let all of that breath out. Left hand is going to grab that right knee, bring it across your body. Right arm opens out 45 degrees. Enjoy that side body stretch. Again, your knee is going to go wherever it feels comfortable, right? A little glute stretch, maybe lower back. Head goes wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe shake the head out. Breathe. And then we'll get into that other side after we do our figure 4 stretch. On this side, one of my faves, figure 4 or thread the needle reaching through or pigeon pose. Nice deep hip opener. This should feel good, right? None of these should feel pinchy or uncomfortable. And if they do, modify or make up your own or change it. Should just feel nice. Roll the shoulders out again. Release any tension in the shoulders. Release any tension in the neck. Let the head go side to side. Breathe into that right hip. And we'll finish doing the same thing other side. And then we're done. Unwrap that right leg. Shake that right leg out. Let all that tension go. Roll ankles and the toes, little circles. Happy, healthy feet. Move those toes around, move those ankles around. Get them waking up. Bring that knee across your body. Same thing, other side. You may notice one side is tighter than the other. That's because we are all asymmetrical. That is what we are like as humans. That's okay. If you notice that one side is a little bit tighter, like my left is a little bit tighter, stretch it more, right? So lean into that. If you're feeling that tightness on that one side, spend a little bit of extra time. We're not working for perfection, but we do want to have a little bit of nice symmetry. So working on that symmetry, we're always working on those things. But again, everyone's got a tighter side, stronger side. That's normal. Some people more than others. Come back to center. Figure 4. Thread the needle, whatever feels good, reaching through. Slowing down the breath, inhale through the nose. Take that slow exhale. Letting all that tension go. Letting your nervous system relax. Use that slow exhale to relax. We are almost done with class. That is almost it for today. Last breaths here. We'll finish with our last seated stretch and then call it a day. And when you're ready, unwrap that left leg. Windshield wiper the knees side to side, nice and gentle. And then meet me up in seated for our last stretch. So roll onto your side, coming up into seated. You do not need to sit cross-legged. You can sit however it is comfortable for you. Let's finish in seated. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, focusing on that nice tall spine posture, just like we started off. Inhale, reach to the sky. Lengthen. Exhale it out. One more time. Thank you guys so much for coming. Subscribe to the channel, get live notifications of class. Join me next time. I hope you got something good out of class. Thank you so much. That's it. I'll see you guys next time.